Hi everybody, it's Amy, and today I want to talk to you guys about, well, some more about my personal life, who I am, what I do, and an experience that just happened to me when normally the experience I'm getting ready to share, I help fulfill for everybody else. I'm what you call a sensitive. I can sense people's guardians and deceased loved ones, and a lot of people either think I'm A, phony, B, psycho, or C, I don't know. People think I'm all kinds of stuff that I'm not. Really, I'm a normal, run-of-the-mill girl. I am chain smoking because the experience that just happened to me. Like I said, it never happens to me. So I'll start with that, and then I'll get back to a little bit of what I was saying a minute ago. So I was meditating a minute ago, and I do that often because I have a lot with being a sensitive, I am also an empath, and I can pick up on things from people. So I like to meditate to clear my mind. Well, today while I was meditating, I was just kind of softly like repeating my sister's name, my sister that has passed away, because, I want to know if she's happy with me raising her daughter. I want to know if she's happy, if she's safe, because according to Christianity, if somebody commits suicide, they forfeit their life and they are cast into the pits of hell. And I don't necessarily believe that. I am a Christian. I do want to say that first and foremost. You can be a Christian and a medium. It's not like I did something psycho to get this gift. It's actually more of a family gift. I'm a little more extreme with it. I actually seek after the gifts that is born into my family. I won't, mention names or people or anything like that because I'm sure my people in my family would like to stay anonymous and not put this all over the internet. But while I was meditating today, I first got a severe feeling of tranquility, of absolute peace. And I knew that was my sister. I knew after I got over my initial shock of grief that my sister was okay. I just knew it. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it, and I knew she was in a safe place. I knew that, she was happy. So on my birthday, I was coming home from seeing my other sister, and I stopped and I picked up some of my sister's too. I got 2 death certificates of Angie's. This was it. I should probably not. I'll see if I can edit the video to blot out the social security number. But if you look at the bottom right here, you can read about how she died. For one, I always thought she jumped 8 stories, but apparently it was 9. It says underlying cause of death, suicide, blunt force trauma, immediate, jump from 9th story window, immediate. Now I knew when my sister had died, it's just something I knew that she had died and it was immediate. You don't often jump out of a 9th story window and survive. But when that feeling of tranquility came in, I knew it was my sister, so I reached out to her about her daughter Madison that I'm raising, and I was like, are you happy she's with me? And I got an overwhelming feeling of sadness. Not sadness or grief, really. I would say sadness, I guess. And I started crying, and I didn't take it as Angie didn't want Madison with me. I took it as my own emotion from missing that bond with my sister. We didn't have a great bond in life, but we do have a great spiritual bond now. I feel her around often. Even though what struck me as odd about this, even though I can, sense that my loved ones are there, it's not like as if, for instance, I'm reading your loved one. Messages come in loud and clear, but for some reason, my own loved ones, they don't have a lot to say. I don't know what's up with that, but I'm not the first medium that I've heard say that. Let me put something on this so it don't blow away, because I have to drive hours to pick those up if I want them. So, on being a medium, it's something that I discovered, oh, I think around the age of 27 when my dad died. Even before my dad died, I knew I was unique in the way that I can sense when somebody's lying to me. I just know it. I'm like a human lie detector. People can't lie to me often and me not know. My kids hate it. They don't get away with barely anything unless I choose to let them. And then, like my daughter, for instance, right? She'll come home telling me she got clipped down on their behavior chart. She got clipped from this color to this color to this color. And I'm like, well, what happened? And I'm like, Briley, listen, I know that's not how it went down. And then she gets frustrated. But so I try to draw that line in between letting them get away with stuff like a normal kid and parenting them. And it's hard for me because I tend to be a lax parent. And I try not to let them get away too much, though. I also dream about my loved ones that have passed. With my two boys, for instance, my mom, and this isn't a story I share often, but my biological mother, who died when I was 9, she died in 1996. Yeah, 1996. She came to me when I was pregnant with both of my boys. With my first one, she told me that she was excited to be a grandma and she was happy and that I was going to have a boy and what day he was going to be born on. Lo and behold, he was born on that day. When I had the first dream, I was really excited. I had a feeling that it was really my mom that had came and visited me. But then again, I was skeptical even of myself. I was 16. Then with my son Johnny, she came to me again and she told me the sex of the baby and the day he was going to be born on. And I mean, I can recount these dreams detail through detail. In both places, in both dreams, it was in the middle of the woods, which is, where I was always happiest. And in the middle child's dream, my middle child in particular, what I had seen was this, like, if you see me looking into space, it's because I'm recalling. There's this huge body of water, and there were people lined up on one side and people lined up on the other side, and people were walking across the top of the water back and forth. And, there was people like hollering and waving. And as she was walking me through the woods, not only did she tell me about my pregnancy, she told me about another girl I went to high school with who I didn't even really know in Potosi. She had told me about one girl who was also pregnant and one girl who had passed away, and both of those things were indeed accurate. And then with my daughter, she came to me again. She told me the day the child was going to be born on, just as she did with the other previous children, but she didn't tell me the sex. And I think this time she didn't tell me because she knew it was a girl, and this was my last pregnancy, and I really wanted a girl. Lo and behold, it was a girl. And I also kept telling my husband, listen, this is the day our daughter is going to be born on. I know this is the day. And he's like, what? So I explained it to him, and sure enough, ta-da, accurate again. But then I did have a fourth pregnancy, and I was almost 13 weeks pregnant, and I told my husband, I said, something's wrong, something's not right. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, my mom hasn't come to me this time. And he's like, oh, Amy, it'll happen, she'll come to you, it'll be okay. And I mean, this is my husband, a huge skeptic. He still is a skeptic. He hates this stuff. He thinks it's bad juju. Hold on, my neighbor's getting ready to drive by. Get a wave. Anyway, I ended up miscarrying a day before I hit my second trimester. And looking back, I understand why I didn't dream of my mom. My mom knew the pregnancy wasn't going to last. But anyway, that's just like, okay, so the primitive dreaming thing, and then we're going to get to this coronavirus. And I have witnesses. Oh, man, I have witnesses for about a year. I've been telling people, man, I have a feeling we need to stock up on groceries. I have a feeling we need to be stocking up on food. And everybody's like, oh, you're crazy, you're crazy. Nobody stocked up on food, not even me, even though I had this feeling. So yesterday I called my husband. I was like, listen, the United States is starting, like, it's starting to explode here. It's just a matter of time. We need to get groceries before the panic sets in. And I said, I've been telling you I've been telling you for a year. Nobody believed me. We need groceries. We need groceries. So I feel so stupid about that. I didn't bring my drink. That's great because I've got cotton mouth. And I don't know how to splice videos together, which is why they always look so raw and unedited, because they are raw and unedited. Okay, so I'm yelling at him about the groceries. I call my best friend and I'm like, listen, I've been telling you for a year, everybody needs to stock up on groceries. So I also get feelings about things. And 9 times out of 10, these feelings are correct. There was an instance at work. I'm not going to mention the person, but again, confidentiality, and am not anonymous. Staying anonymous. I can't say that word. Anonymity. Whatever. Okay. So I was talking to this guy at work one day, and I was like, I just got this feeling that he was really, really sick. So I went to two coworkers, actually freaked both of them out, by the way, when the truth finally came out. But I said, man, I feel like he's got like AIDS or hepatitis or something. And both of them were like, oh, you need to tell him. And I was like, how do you start a conversation? How do you just walk up to somebody and be like, you need an AIDS test, So, I was talking to this guy a little bit later, and I was explaining to him, that I was a medium, and, I also mentioned the sickness. I said, why don't you go have a liver function test done, or this, or that, kind of throwing these things out there, kind of hinting at it. And as we're talking, he tells me his roommate has both AIDS and hepatitis, and I didn't even have to say AIDS and hepatitis. Those words never came out of my mouth. So now I'm sitting back and I'm wondering, okay, if Spirit told me that he has AIDS and hepatitis, I know sometimes Spirit will tell me things that are meant for other people. It happens all the time. I'm wondering if he may end up catching these things because of who his roommate is. So that's something that's kind of playing on my mind. And when it comes to, more than just the feelings, more than the dreams, when it comes to actually sensing people's loved ones, the most recent experience happened at work. I was talking to a coworker of mine and I said, hey, is your mom still alive? She said, yeah. I said, what about your grandmas? She said, both of my grandmas are dead. I said, okay, well, you have a womanly presence around you, a motherly type figure. And I said, so we get talking about it. It is confidential, so I'm only going to give you the validation this woman had given me. I smelled roses and I saw flowers. Not rose, well, I did see a rose for a split second, but more I was seeing a flower pattern. And then I smelled roses, and for a split second I saw the rose, and I'm telling this girl what I'm seeing, and I see the word name along with the roses, the smell of the roses, the single rose, and the picture of the flowers. This woman's name was Rosemary. Okay. The time before that, I'm pulling something up to show you guys. The time before that, I was at my insurance agent, and I'm trying to get this picture to blow up. So, where did it go? I was at my insurance agent, and she was telling me about a funeral she had just went to, and I was asking her questions about it. It was her grandpa's funeral, and we get talking about me being a medium, and she's like, oh, really? That is so cool. Listen to this. And she goes into the story about how her little brother kept stealing her favorite pen at work, and for some reason she knew it was her little brother. And I sit there for a minute, and he pops up behind her and he shows me a picture of a blue plaid shirt. I say, do you have a picture of your brother in a blue plaid shirt? There he is. In a blue plaid shirt. And she's like, yes. I said, well, he just popped up behind you. And she's like, oh, he's probably here because my grandpa, he knows I'm sad about my grandpa. So I sit there for a minute. And like I said, when I look off into, the distance or close my eyes, I'm thinking and I'm feeling the energies around me. I said, no, that's not why he's here at all. He's here because he wants to be with you, because he loves you. And as we're going on in this conversation, I tell her, I have a feeling he may try to interact with your children. That he may try to play with your children. And again, she goes, oh my God, type thing. And she said when her son, who is also named Emilio after, her brother, was little, he would sit there and it would look like he was interacting with somebody, like sharing toys and talking, when he was, between 18 months and 2 years old, which when children are young and they have imaginary friends, those imaginary friends are past loved ones, or at least in my experience from dealing with this, they are. And I told her, I said, that was your brother. That was your brother playing. And the brother had told me. I didn't just guess. The brother was telling me what he, got up to. The brother was playing with his nephew, who shared a namesake. So it's things like that. People that can tell you that I know things that not everybody knows. There was one time there was a girl. I got two more I'll share with you and then I'll end this video. But one time there was a girl and she came over to my sister-in-law's house, and my sister-in-law was like, yeah, she's a medium. She's really fucking weird. She scares me. I don't like it. And this girl's like, really? Can you read for me? And I picked up this youth, and so I closed my eyes and I'm focusing, and I said, I feel like he committed suicide. And she said, yeah. And then I got a picture of a rope. I said, he hung himself. She said, yeah, in his closet. And now I don't listen to rap. Do I look like I listen to rap? No, I don't listen to rap. I spit out this random ass rap lyric, and it was their best friend's song. And she started crying. It was like, take it easy, or some shit like that. Something real weird. And so she starts crying, and she's like, thank you. I was like, I wanted you to know he wants you to know that he's okay, that he's sorry, blah, blah, all that stuff that I say that I'm feeling in that moment. Because how I like to explain it, the word medium, when you're a medium, is you're a medium, you go in between two worlds, right? So you're in between, in that moment, you're in the middle. You're in between your world and their world. And it's almost like they run parallel. Do I believe in God? Yes. Do I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior? Yes. But here's the weird thing. I also believe in reincarnation, and I believe in, spirits. I'm not going to get into all this. I believe in guardian angels, and I believe in ancestor guardians, and just all this random, unique, weird stuff, right? One more really crazy thing that happened. I promised I would keep it at one more. Okay, so my niece came over one day and she had this girl with her, and I'd never met the girl before. And this girl and my niece were going to a party, and all of a sudden I got this lady, and she's like, talk to my granddaughter. I said, hey, listen, is your grandma dead? She said, yes. I said, because she's bugging the shit out of me, and she's got a message for you, yada, yada, yada. Now, I don't limit spirit. I've heard people say, well, I don't allow spirit to say this, and I don't allow spirit to say that. I'm here to tell you whatever the fuck spirit has to say to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. So if they have a warning for you, or they want to tell you something about your future, that's exactly what I'm going to do. They want to tell you these things for a reason, either to protect you or to help you heal, whatever the case may be. Well, this grandma, I was able to describe her to a T. But in my vision, she presented herself as, around my age, young, very beautiful. And this girl ends up telling me her grandma was vain. So, like, you know, not vain, vain's the wrong word, but really, you know, was big on her appearance. So I don't like to, I mean, I just had the feeling she wasn't vain. She just liked to look, you know, I think maybe her best life was her younger years, and that's why she was presenting herself as being around 30. So my niece is like, yeah, she's a medium, man. She'll blow your mind. Because I always ask, I'm not like, hey, your dead loved one's here and here's what they have to say. It's like, hey, I have a message from you from one of your loved ones. Would you like to, you know, experience this? And if they say no, I'm like, okay, it hurts my feelings, but I go about my day because I don't like people to think that I'm crazy or think that I'm a fraud or I can't do what I do. I mean, you can think whatever you want, but getting it shoved in your face that this is what they think of you, that's kind of like soul crushing, which is why I'm chain smoking. It's really hard for me to make this video. It's really hard for me to put myself out there. But back to this particular story, this woman had a warning for her granddaughter, and the warning was to watch yourself. Something bad is coming. You need to protect yourself. You need to watch yourself. So they leave, they go to this party, and 3 months later, Emily says, hey, I said, what? She said, do you remember that night that you warned me? Do you remember that night you warned me, or my grandma, you know, that thing, however she worded it, and I said yes. She said that night, Hope's, my niece, ex Jason, busted through my door with guns, him and a couple other people. So they had left this party at midnight because of my warning, and they were home safe and were able to call the police. Lord only knows what would have happened if they were out and about, you know, and Jason had found them then. But they got the help they needed, yada, yada, yada. And so, you know, I can also help protect people and all this good stuff. Anyway, it's really, really hard for me to put this video out. If you think I'm crazy, I give everybody their first reading for free. If you would like to experience that, just let me know. I haven't really set up like an account or anything like that yet. I really just do it, like, I don't know how to explain it. I do it in my local area right now, and I'm not very big. Like I said, it's really hard for me to share this gift, especially with me going through a divorce. Is my husband going to use this as proof that I'm psycho type thing, you know? But people believe what they believe, and if he wants to believe that, oh, and he's experienced all this, like, yeah, it's been real with him. Too real is the problem. And so I scare him with this. He likes to pretend that I'm psycho or that it don't exist, but the problem is it very much does. So I want to leave you with the message that your loved ones are always with you. They're always around. They know what you're going through. They try to help guide you. And if you ever want a second reading, the second reading is $20. I do have a Cash App Pay account. But for that, like I said, for that initial reading, it's free. I also do tarot cards, even though I'm more into the spiritual realm. I will do tarot cards. And if you get a spiritual reading and a tarot card session together, that is $45. That's not $45. It's $35. Or it's $20 for each separate thing. I don't know why I said $45, my bad. But anyway, I'm Amy. You can find me on Reddit and Instagram. You cannot find me on Facebook. I don't have one. I'll put links below, down below for my social media if you'd like to follow me. Sorry about the chain smoking again, and sorry about the cussing. It's just part of who I am. Thank you guys. Have a great day.